What's going on, guys? Chris here from Adamantium Productions, and today I'm going to be talking about how to make your full frame EOS R shoot 4K in a way. This two-step hack is going to make your 1080p look like 4K. Now I know like one of the biggest issues with the Canon EOS R is that it doesn't shoot full frame 4K as a lot of its competition does, like the Sony a7 III. That said, you are able to get that 4K crispiness with these two little hacks. So in terms of camera settings I'm using right now, I am shooting just simple Canon C-Log. I used to shoot with the standard picture profile, but that does make the colors a little bit, I don't know, and I don't have as much dynamic range, so I do shoot Canon C-Log. I'm shooting on the Canon 16-35 f2.8 at about 24mm. I have the eye tracking right now locked on my eye. I'm shooting at 1/50th of a second, f2.8. 400 ISO. I'm shooting full HD at 23.98 frames per second. Now, in your opinion, how does this look? Do you think this looks like 4K or does this look like 1080p? In my opinion, it looks a lot like 4K, and definitely on a phone screen, if you're looking at this, this probably looks a lot like 4K. And for some people who don't know and I haven't told, they would assume this video was actually shot in 4K. Also because YouTube's little control wheel says that this is in 4K resolution. Okay, now the first part of the hack is in Final Cut Pro. Now in Final Cut Pro, you're allowed to add a little bit of sharpening. Now the sharpening tool in Final Cut Pro is really powerful, so you don't need much. So I slap on the sharpening tool on all of my EOS R footage, and it gives it a little bit of crispiness that I think helps sell the 4K look. And I do 2.5 in terms of the amount. I don't really know what this measurement actually means, but the 2.5 setting, which is the natural setting, as soon as you drag the sharpening and put it on the EOS R footage, gives it that just enough crispiness so it doesn't look too fake, because if you put too much sharpening, it looks really tacky and you can tell the footage has been sharpened. If you keep it at 2.5, I think it's just enough to look sharp but not look fake. To give you an example, this is with the 2.5 sharpening from Final Cut Pro X. How do I look? How does the sharpness look? And then now this is without any sharpening at all. This is the natural 1080p coming out of the EOS R. I always don't know how long to wait, but anyways. And the second method, and this is actually a more commonly known method, and that's the export. When I export my video, I export in Final Cut Pro's H.264. The H.264 compression is the best for uploading to YouTube. YouTube says that they like that codec, but what you do is instead of creating a 1080p timeline is you create a 4K timeline and you export in 4K. I create a 1080p timeline, and then after I'm completely done editing and color grading, I upscale everything into 4K. So basically I just change the project settings. It'll render out the whole video now upscaled into 4K, and then I export it and then upload it to YouTube. What this does is it tells YouTube that this is a 4K clip, so it reduces the amount of compression. I think what makes 1080p look so bad, in my opinion, on YouTube is the amount of compression that YouTube does to it. So when you tell YouTube that it is 4K, it does less compression, so basically it keeps a lot more detail from your EOS R. Now going back to the sharpening, the 2.5 sharpening is the amount of sharpening I use for YouTube videos, because when I upload it to YouTube, it does get compressed, and the 2.5 sharpening actually loses a little bit of its sharpness just because when you upload a video to YouTube, it loses its sharpness. So that is the logic behind that. And that's pretty much it. It's just a quick little video, 2 things I do to all of my YouTube videos to get the sharpest looking image out of the EOS R without having to shoot in 4K. Thank you guys so much for watching. Chris here from Adamantium Productions. And wait, there was this quote I saw on another YouTuber's video, and it was a perfect way to ask you guys to subscribe to me. And what he said was, subscribing helps me help you, so help me help you. So if any of you guys are cinematographers or filmmakers or photographers who especially shoot on the Canon EOS R, that is the camera I'm focused on most in bettering my skills with. So yeah, definitely consider subscribing. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Chris here from Adamantium Productions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.